Happy Monday. The Monday snack is back. Great to have you all with me. It's a special edition today. It's a very special edition because this week marks the beginning of a campaign for my album release. And my guest, basically this week, is pretty much connected with what's going on. She is an absolutely amazing individual. Those of you that are watching live, welcome. Those of you that may be catching this on catch up, please do think about subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'm going to dive straight in because it's a bumper show. So without further ado, I am going to introduce you to the amazing, the wonderful Miss Izzy Chase. Check this out. Okay, everyone, this is a special edition of the Monday Snack. And today, you know what? Today, I've got with me the most amazing human being. She is the most ridiculously talented vocalist. Oh my goodness. It is none other than the one and only Izzy Chase. Izzy, how are you?
Woo! What an introduction. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for joining me today. I am truly honoured.
It's my pleasure. It's my absolute pleasure, Andrew. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm a bit stressed. It's been a while. We were just talking. It's been a while, so I'm a bit out of. I'm kind of get back into the Monday snack world. I'm trying to get my mojo back. Right. So for anybody watching who's not aware of your amazing awesomeness, right? You've worked with the likes of Ellie Goulding, Mark Ronson, Boy George, Madness, Alfie Bow, Michael Ball, Rod Stewart. You've done lots of work with the renowned producer Trevor Horn. Yeah?
Yes.
Man, that's deep. That's deep.
That's deep.
And at the moment, probably most notably, you've landed the gig with the all-conquering Dua Lipa.
Yeah.
Man alive. So
all-conquering is a great phrase, actually, isn't it?
the all
conquering.
Everywhere the other day I saw, what was it? I saw an Yves Saint Laurent advert. Last night I just uploaded something. We transferred it.
There she is, absolutely taking over the world. Yeah, fair play to her.
So you're kind of in amongst the upper echelon, shall we say, of our industry. Cool. All right, is that me? That's my daughter. That's really funny. That's so funny. I didn't turn down my. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, right.
I was like, is that me? Is that you? Hello?
So, yeah. Okay, hopefully. And I think my wife is in the middle of a video conference, so someone's just going to be at the front door. Is what it is. Cool. I forgot where I got there. Oh man, that's going to be really funny. I'm about to leave that in.
Leave it.
I'm about to leave that in. Cool.
This is what it's all about.
Yeah. So you're there.
Pizza delivery. Andrew.
I'm not expecting anything. I can't remember. Oh, but anyway, cool. All right. So, originally, we first met doing a really fun corporate gig, right?
Yeah, I was trying to think of this actually. I can't remember the exact gig it was. I can't remember
the exact one, right? And as a result, you quickly, almost immediately, became one of my favorite people on the planet.
Yeah. Aww, thank you.
Incredible ability. Great vibe, positivity, generosity, all-round wonderful awesomeness.
Oh, stop.
No, seriously.
And likewise.
It's been really, really cool. So you've recorded on a few projects with me now. The one that was the most exciting, we'll talk about a bit later. I've been blown away every time, right? So I want to get a bit of background to start off with. How did you get into the singing thing? What?
Ooh. Actually, do you know what? When I was a kid, I started on piano. I come from quite a musical family, so my mum was a cellist. Yeah, all of my siblings, we were forced to play instruments, as kids. And so I started on piano, but my cousin used to sing, and I always used to feel a bit jealous, so I used to try and sing. And then, long story short, I sort of swapped from piano to vocal when I went to secondary school. Yeah.
Cool.
And then, just carried on down that path, went to college and wanted to do something in the arts, but couldn't quite work out what it was. Did a bit of dance and all of that sort of stuff. But really it was the singing that I just kept coming back to that I really enjoyed. So once I left college, I kind of joined a few low-key, local bands and doing covers and things. And after a couple of years, I was like, I need to up the game. So originally growing up in Kent, that was great, but needed to kind of immerse myself in the music world full time. So picked a university course in London, packed up my things, and came up to London and studied my degree and never left. So
cool.
Yeah.
So it. Right, so when you say you do some little sort of local band thing and the rest of it, and you thought you had to up your game, right? It's kind of weird because when I remember the first time you came here and recorded, I was like, oh wow, because we've done gigs together, right? And it's like, oh wow, on the gigs. But then you came here, and you're like a few folks that come here, where I'm like, man, you're like a machine, man. You're like a machine. I'm like, yeah, so the BV part is this, and we have this thing. We have this thing, Croaky. We have our special friend,
Croaky. Croaky.
So I'll explain to the folks. So what? I think I might have explained this on another stream.
Do it again, because I enjoy it.
Yeah, so when I'm arranging backing vocals, I can't really sing, so I put down a guide vocal and say to the either the guys or the girls, yeah, this is just copy that, and I call my character Croaky because it sounds really, really rubbish.
Guess who's back? Croaky's back.
There you go. Right. So when we did the first session and you were tracking, I just thought, man, she's like really accurate, really vibey. Intonation was really on point. Expression, and you could replicate yourself, which in the pop world is just like that. Is just like
yeah.
If you can replicate what you're doing as a backing vocalist in the studio, that's like gold dust. That's what you need. So was that something you always had, or was that a skill that you developed, or someone showed you how to do? Was it just something you just naturally was able to do?
I think it's a little bit of both, if I'm honest. It's not something I could always do, but when I started studying my degree and learned discipline in when singing backing vocals rather than a lead, I think ultimately I got so interested in how to blend with other people, then naturally I started to be able to use the same disciplines on being able to blend with myself, and therefore, as you say, replicating or tracking over a vocal part became something that I was interested in, so naturally was trying to achieve, because I would be trying to do that with somebody else.
Right.
When I started learning how to do BVs, it was a lot of listening and a lot of picking apart what makes that person sound, the length of the note, where you put a T, where you put an S, what kind of speed of vibrato, what kind of breathiness you're using, all of that kind of stuff. So I would just literally use the same disciplines on my own takes.
All right, because it's man, I was like, man alive. This girl's good, man. This girl's good. So
thank you.
And have you always leaned towards this kind of soulful, poppy R&B thing? Has that always been your thing?
Yeah, I think so. Because funnily enough, when I was a teenager, I got into I was really into pop, and I was in a little kind of a little girl band that didn't really go anywhere, but it set me up for kind of live performances and things. But there was a guy who was writing with us who introduced me to soul music, and he gave me a Stax album to take home and listen to,
right,
which was just filled with what turned out to be the gold of my, the next few years of my musicality. Aretha Franklin, Otis Redding, just the Al Green, the list goes on. And I remember just rinsing this album, this double album, like back to back. And so I think I then moved into the soul and rhythm and blues world quite intensely for a few years, and then kind of came out of that stage having a mixture of this kind of pop and soul passion.
Right.
Which is,
You know, it's funny when you say that because you know, you're a young lady, unlike me being old and crusty, right? So you're a young lady.
croaky, crusty.
The fact you went that
Yeah.
far back to Aretha to Oates,
Yeah.
you not necessarily, I don't know, TLC, In Vogue, Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
The fact that you kind of went back, which
Yeah.
I find
Back.
that's really
Yeah.
really
But that's because it was given to me. That was because it was suggested that I went back because I had access to Destiny's Child, On Vogue, Beyonce, all of the above,
right.
which was great. But I hadn't quite gotten the access all the way back to Motown and to Stax, and it was there that I was like, wow, this is like vocal mastery
Right.
for me. So,
That's really cool because quite often in when I try to be a mentor to the youngsters, shall we say, sometimes they're not necessarily as open to things that aren't now things.
yeah,
Playing
I get
something
that.
really old, it could be like, oh yeah, but that's a bit dry, man, a bit rubbish.
Yeah.
So as a young lady, it's notable that you kind of went that far back. That's cool.
Yeah, I was very happy to be introduced to it, and I would suggest the same to everyone to come. Yeah.
Yes, so young Izzy is an amazingly talented individual. Right, like I said, this is a bumper show. So I've got lots of information for you. I'm going to start off by saying hello to some folks, to Jazzy Ron, to Andy, to Maxine, to Keith, to Mick Grook, and Mrs. S is in the house. Right, so let's talk about my news. My news. At the end of this week, on Friday, the 2nd of July, my first single from the new album is going to be released. It is called Better Way, and today you're gonna get the exclusive worldwide premiere of the music video. That's going to be coming pretty soon, right? So that's the first thing. The next thing is, like I said, the single is coming from my album Monday Roast, which actually, people, the thing finally exists. The album won't be out officially until September, right? These are some limited, highly sought after, limited edition CDs. These things, we've got some extra artwork. Each individual CD is numbered. It's a vibe. I'm going to let you know how you can try and get hold of one of these. There are only 50 in the world. And when they're gone, and anyone else, you get hold of the bog standard versions. That's the next thing. Right. So, also, I've been doing some shows, right? We had a wonderful gig. Saturday gone, Peace Express, Soho, in the centre of London. It was really, really cool. And I'm playing again on the 8th of July at the Chalkwell Park Rooms in Westcliff-on-Sea. If you want to catch the show, I'm telling you, it's the place to be. And I'll have some of those limited edition CDs there. Remember, there are only 50, and when they're gone, they're gone. All right? Cool. Right. What was I saying? Right. Blah, 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 blah. I've covered those bits for now. Let's jump to the next segment with Izzy. You get a bit of the video in this bit. Check this out. I remember, right, after like the first couple of gigs we did together, I remember we were at a gig, and we were working on the gig, and your other half, Jay, right, another amazing singer. He asked me, we were sat at a table, and he asked me what I'd been up to, and I went, oh yeah, I just recorded an album, and oh really, what is it? And he pulls his phone out, and like he buys it on Apple Music like immediately.
Yeah.
Like, weird. Man doesn't even know me. Guy just bought my album. I thought, wow, and I thought that was really nice. And the two of you sat there, and then I think it was about 2 days later, you send me this
I remember
this little movie. You're in the car with Otis, your dog, and you're playing one of my tunes in the car, right? You know, I said, yeah, this is so cool. And I thought, these guys are really cool. These guys are really, really cool. And that little bit of support was, it actually meant a lot. I know Jay's in the other room, right? I was quite emotional. I was quite emotional, right? So, and at that point, you started badgering me. You said, Andrew, I want to be on your next album. I want to be on your next album. And I'm like, I think it was about 9 months, maybe even longer. You're going, Andrew, man, where's this track? I want to be in your album. What's going on? I'm like, I'm writing it. Yeah.
It's on its way.
What's going on? Where's the track? A couple of months later, Andrew, where's the tune? Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so I've explained to people before, right, that I really struggle with making decisions with songwriting. So eventually I just said to you, come over, whatever day it was, Tuesday, come over on Tuesday, we'll record the track.
Yeah.
Thinking inspiration will come. Inspiration didn't come. So you pull up at my house, right, and I'm sweating, thinking, oh no, she's driven all the way here. I have nothing. Right?
Nothing.
I have nothing. You walk in, I say, so Izzy, I think I might have half a line. Grab a coffee.
Yeah, grab some coffee and a sandwich from the fridge. That was it.
And then you're sitting in the back of the room, and I'm having to write this tune. So, so then I kind of think, okay, I've written this tune, and I'm thinking, oh man, and I had my back to you at the time. I thought, oh, she's gonna think this is rubbish, man. I went, okay, try this, and I sing you the thing, and you go, wow, this is great.
Yeah.
And then you walk next door, right, and you interpret this thing that just literally got created, right?
Yeah, that's exactly
and
what happened.
was absolutely lashed. You lashed me.
It was such a great day.
So you take me through that process, right? That can't happen all the time when you walk in the studio and the guy goes, yeah, come on, we're going to record.
Still...
And there's nothing happening.
Let me just write this just like this song. Have a sandwich.
Exactly. Take me through the process. So how do you, for all the budding vocalists out there, how do you cope with that scenario?
Well, you have to remember, Andrew, that at this point, you know, I've met you, obviously a fantastic player. Then you've already created an album that's out, which is wicked, and you're putting something else together. And I'm like, I want to be involved in this. I walk into your studio, which is also awesome, and you're able to just sit and write a song from like nowhere. I'm like, okay, well, I've got to represent here. I've got to bring something. I've got to. So I'm like, okay, great. And then it's like, well, I could see where your writing process was. You'd already had a melody, I think, that you'd had a melody idea that you'd sent me anyway. Croaky. That was my introduction to Croaky, I think.
I'd sent you the melody idea already.
I think you'd sent me a melody, but you didn't have any lyrics. And you certainly didn't have any verses. I think that's what we were doing when I...
You know what? You're right. It was just a la 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 la.
It was like a motif idea. Yeah. So I kind of roughly had an idea of the vibe, and I think then it was just a case of kind of really getting what sort of lyrics you were writing with the melody that you were kind of putting together at the same time, and then for me just to be able to kind of try and relate to that and put my own vocal into that key, because you'd taken the time as well to work out where my voice sat in other songs, right? So the whole thing just felt quite natural for me to be able to go in and go, okay, where's my personality in this? Where's my style?
And what struck me that day was it's just happened. This tune's just happened. But immediately, it's not as if you had to sort of feel your way into what it was. You just straight away, it was like, okay, this is the verse, bam. It's just like, and I'm thinking, how did that work? So working with people like you know, Trevor Horn and those guys, you know, big time producers, right? Does that sort of get you over the hump of like dealing with pressure and dealing with
100%.
being under the microscope?
Yeah, definitely. I think to be honest, working with Trevor was one of my biggest step forwards in terms of being on the hotspot for recording studio work, because I mean his finesse is amazing. His attention to detail is incredible. The creativity in the room on the spot is great. And I think when I started working with him, it was back in 2017, I think. I started working with him, and it was a bit of a baptism of fire. It was like come in an audition, and then literally the following week was like called into the studio to re-record I think the backing vocals for Video Killed the Radio Star. So like straight in, and here it is. And I remember he knows exactly what he wants, and you do it quickly. I mean, the setup is great. Obviously, the engineers are amazing, and everything's all set and ready to go. But I just always remember thinking, this has to be great. Just, you've got to pull it out of the bag. You've got to pull it out of the bag.
Fight or flight, man.
Fight or flight, yeah. And actually, over the years, having gotten used to work with Trevor and co, I really realised that finding that kind of ability to get someone's idea and transition it into a physical bit of music, well, it's just really oiled that muscle for me, I think. Oiled that muscle? No. What's the saying? Exercise that muscle? Oiled that cog? I don't know.
So today, the reason you're on today,
yes,
because this is the world premiere of people seeing my first single from my new album. And the single's called Better Way. I'm going to play a little clip now for the folks.
Yes.
And then we're going to chat some more, right?
Okay.
So
yeah,
people,
yeah.
Better Way, world exclusive. Here it comes at you right now. Right, so it's a really funny story, right? really funny story.
Okay.
Mrs. S. So Mrs. S, right? I showed her the video at one point, right? I showed her the video. And she had this really weird dream, right? She had this really weird dream that it had blown up, right, become a mega hit. So you'd come round. You'd come round. She goes, "You're in the studio." She looked out the front, and there were press outside our house, like crowds of people, and we had to smuggle you out somehow because people recognised you coming in.
Smuggle me out with like a coat over.
She came to, I just had this really weird dream, but Izzy was around. It was so funny.
That's so weird.
So funny.
Listen, it might happen. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, let's hope so. What, you coming around and get smuggled out or becoming a hit?
All of the above. All of the above.
Oh, Mrs. S's dream was the funniest thing. When she told me that was just so funny. So funny. Cool. Right. So reminder, Better Way is out on Friday. It's out on Friday. Right. And a reminder, I'm playing a gig on Thursday, the 8th of July, Chalkwell Park Rooms in Westcliff-on-Sea. Get your tickets at ticketsource.co.uk. Wonderful. Right. All the favourites are back, people. All the favourites are back. Here comes the Impossible Choice Quiz. We are going to go to our first quiz. We're going to go to our first quiz, right? So this is the Impossible Choice Quiz. It's been a while. The idea is I give you two alternatives. You have to make a quick fire choice. And it's meant to be impossible. So you're meant to actually procrastinate and find it difficult to choose between the two things.
I'm a terrible decision maker as it is.
If you hesitate, I've done my job well. If you don't, then I've really dropped off. But anyway, here we go.
Okay.
First up, right? Impossible Choice Quiz, first up. Who would you choose to do a duet with out of these two singers? Jennifer Hudson or Beyonce?
Oof.
Quick.
Jennifer Hudson.
Jennifer Hudson, right, okay. Cool, right, next up. You're going back in a time machine.
Okay.
Which one of these two artists would you choose to sing BVs for? Luther Vandross or Prince?
Prince,
okay. That was very, very, you're very assured there. There's no hesitation there.
100%.
Okay. Another duet question. Which one of these two folks would you like to do duet with? Yeah?
Okay.
Jill Scott or Lauryn Hill?
Oof. Oh, man.
Good. Yeah, which one? Come.
God. Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Right. So, these two singers are at the height of their fame, right? At the height of their fame, yeah. You get a phone call to do a session, a recording session with either of these two artists. Which one would you pick? At the height of their fame, right?
Okay.
Christina Aguilera or Mariah Carey?
Oh, wow. These are crazy. At the height of their fame.
At the height. Which one?
Mariah,
okay.
And I feel awful about that because I was obsessed with Christina when I was growing up. I'm sorry, Christina.
I've done this pretty well. So
You've
I've been
done
out
this
of practice.
really well.
Really cool. Right, okay. Final one. We're going back in the time machine again. You can sit down and have lunch with either of these two vocalists. I think I know the answer based on our conversation so far. Is it Whitney Houston or Aretha Franklin?
Oh, God, it's still awful. Oh, Aretha.
See?
It's got to be, yeah.
Based.
Oh,
cool.
Man. Why am I taking this so personally?
I know, I'm back. I just love that. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, you put some tough ones in there.
The Impossible Choice Quiz. There is one more quiz before we finish. Right. Yeah, back with the quizzes. And hesitation is good. Hesitation is always great. Cool. Right. I'm going to keep on trucking with the show because there's so much happening. Izzy is she's the sweetest, most incredible, just seriously gifted individual. And we just chatted some more about her approach to stuff. And I think there's a funny story about making the video in this one. I think there is. Can't remember. Here we go. So, folks, I've called Izzy to do this video, and I've rented this place, right? Because I'm thinking I've got a vibe. It's going to be like really dark. It's going to be a thing, and it's 2 spotlights. It should be there, and it'll be light, and I'll be running around with my. So I've got the image in my head as what we're going to do, and I've rented this place. I said to really cool guy, Glenn Rowe, absolute diamond of a person, wonderful person, and he's let me use his place. I was like, Glenn, yeah, it's gonna be really dark. I went, oh, no problem. Put something at the window. So I've turned up at like, I think we're supposed to do it like 2 PM. So I've turned up like 1 o'clock, and I'm like, Glenn. So he opens the door, and I'm like, Glenn, there's a massive skylight in the middle of the ceiling, man. That's sunlight coming down, man.
I remember this.
Oh, Glenn looks up. Glenn goes, oh, like that, right? So I got on the phone to Izzy. You haven't left yet, have you? You haven't left yet. because we can't do it because the room's bright. It was bright.
Yeah.
Oh, do you mind coming back? Like when it's dark. It was the height of summer. What was it, about 10 o'clock?
It was the height of summer. It was like, it's still light.
10:30. We started to shoot this video.
Literally, yeah. Yeah. It was a late night vibe, wasn't it? So funny.
So yeah, someone actually asked me in the video, like in the saxophone solo. Someone said, "Oh, I expect to see me running across the screen." I was like, "Sorry, I had the camera in my hand."
Kind of busy.
You did such an amazing job. That was a really long night, wasn't it? It took ages, didn't it?
It was, yeah, it did. But that's just because you had so many wicked ideas for all these shots. So I mean,
no, thank you, thanks to that because it's come out really well.
Yeah.
Bit of cottage industry videography.
Oh.
For the Andrew Small single. Cool. Right. My final question to you. Right. So, what is your mindset, right, in terms of what you decide to get involved in? Because I found it weird. I must admit, I found it weird just how willing you were to help me out, considering we hadn't really known each other that long. You know, because it's like you just like. I want to be your album. I'm thinking, sorry, what? You know, what's that about? Why? You know.
No, I get that. Yeah.
Is it all about the music, or is it just my sparkling personality? Which one is it?
Do you know?
What is it?
No, do you know what? I'm glad you've asked that question because I have. I don't always. I have a thing where I like to choose my work, or especially with music, what I do and don't do. And I stole this from somebody years ago, and I stick by it. I think about music, I think about the people, and I think about the money, right? Now, if someone is asking either to do like a writing job or a performance job or whatever, I always consider those sort of three main things. Now, if there's two of those things, I'll probably take the work. So what I'm trying to say is, if I love the people and I love the music, that's great. I don't care about the money. If someone's offering me loads of money, for example, and I'm at the time I'm like, I'm in a money space, I need money, and the music's great, but the person's a bit, well, it's fine. I'm like, I might still take it. But if you can get all three of those things, it's like it's a gem. There you go. Yeah. But I really genuinely think if you're constantly spending your life chasing money, but you're not hanging around with great people or really caring about the music that you're producing, you're going to be unhappy. I really don't think that's the be all and end all for me. In fact, it's kind of the least important. Obviously we all need to survive. We need money in order to pay for our homes and whatever. Absolutely. But it's not the main thing for me. And if I can get 2 out of those 3 things for everything that I choose to do, I'm generally a very happy person. So that tends to be, but it has to also a kind of balance of the 3 as well. So, you know, it's kind of how have I been doing recently? Have I been doing loads and loads of work just for the money, but I've lost my soul because I haven't been able to sing something I love or be around people that I love? I'm like, that's got to go, you know. Does that sort of make sense?
It does.
I tend to weigh things up like that. And
it's really cool because I've been making jazz albums, man. There's no money. so what has been like so gratifying. It's I almost wake up daily when exhausted, working on what I'm doing, you know, I end up doing so much myself because I just really can't finance it in the way I might want to. But I've just been surrounded by amazing people putting in amazing performances, right? Yeah. And we rehearsed. I've got some gigs coming up, and we did a rehearsal on Friday. And I was kind of saying to the guys that I've kind of had situations where I called people to look, someone can't make it. Do you reckon you'd be up for doing my gig? And I might send a link. And I was like, oh yeah, it sounds great. Who else is doing it? I'll tell them who else is doing it a bit. Oh yeah, sounds great. And I'll send the link. And then I'll get radio silence. Like they don't get back to me because some of it's quite tricky. So I get some folks going, oh, you know what? That's a bit too much of a roast. That's like,
of course.
So people that are prepared to put themselves through the pain of my gig, for very very little financial reward. So when I get folks like yourself, you know, he was like, I want to be. You were like, I want to be in your album.
Yeah.
And you didn't just say I want to be in my album. You just kept calling me. Where's the track? I want to be in your album.
So where's this track, man? Like,
yeah, well, what's
checking
going on?
my inbox every day. Like,
what's going on? That's really, really cool. So
yeah.
So you give, you know, I think it's really nice you sort of laying out what your criteria is for getting involved.
Yeah, it's a simplified version of criteria to sort of help guide me in what I'm getting enough of in life, basically, or not, you know.
So do you find then, because I think you've got quite a, you know, you're a sought after vocalist, you know, you've got a really good reputation for what you do, right?
Oh, thanks.
Do you find sometimes that people assume you won't want to do things so they don't ask?
Oh,
do you ever find that?
Yeah, I do actually.
I get that a lot.
I bet. And do you know what? I don't think we're the only ones. I actually have had this conversation with quite a few, I mean, especially vocalists, because I've got a lot of, actually, especially female vocalist friends who often say the same thing. It's like, I think people don't call you if you start to get a little bit busier, or if you land I don't know, a specifically nice gig or something. People just stop calling you for other things, or just assume that you won't have the time. Or I'm like, no, nothing's changed as far as I'm concerned. I'm literally exactly the same. If I'm really busy on working on a project, then yeah, absolutely, I might have to turn something down, or could, you know, if there's a possibility to do it another time, then of course, you know, we're only human. But no, it's weird to me. There's definitely certain things that I think people stop calling you for, which is a bit of a shame.
The amount of times I've had conversations with folks saying, I was going to call you, but you know, you were doing whatever, you know, whatever I was doing, and it's like, and then reputation can be a real, it's almost like a millstone around your neck sometimes.
Yeah.
People make assumptions. They make these huge assumptions that, he's not interested in that.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at home thinking, what's going on? Yeah, I'm here for okay, I might as well go and practice or write something because nothing's going on.
Honestly, I get that. Do you know what? Just to kind of slightly left field that conversation, if you don't mind, I had a conversation with another female recently who is a mum, and I think this conversation comes up a lot with female musicians in this industry who perhaps have had a kid, because they get it even worse, you know, and they're being told, oh, I didn't call you because you know, I assume because you've had a kid you can't work, and they're like pulling their hair out like, it's my life, please don't make assumptions about me. So there's layers to this, you know. It happens all across the board.
Myself and Mrs. S, we have to organise ourselves, man.
Of course.
It's a super, you know, it's a Herculean effort between the two of us to kind of keep everything.
Love that.
Keep it all. You got to keep it all. Keep everything going. Keep it all going.
Yeah.
She's a busy individual. I can be a busy individual, apart from obviously the last 18 months.
Well, and yet every time I speak to you on the phone, you're still like, I'm snowed under. I'm working on this album. It's almost done.
But you know what it is with me? I can't just sit down and watch. I just can't sit down and watch telly. I can't just be vegging around. I can't. I can't do it.
And let's be busy. I
go too far the other way. Sometimes I need to, you know. I think, no, turn off the computer. Go inside and watch a bit of telly. But I think, in a minute, and then it's 3 o'clock in the morning. That's kind of my life, which isn't really great.
Yeah,
but, you know,
I hear that.
There we go. It is what it
is.
Balance is key. Balance is key. So we're gonna play another snip of the world exclusive Better Wave video. Folks can get another taste of the track. Here we go. Here it comes.
Don't matter what you say, don't wanna leave. Not today, not gonna leave you. There's got to be a better way. You're all I need, I want you. Don't matter what you say, don't wanna leave. Not today, not gonna leave you.
sing, man. That's a pair of pipes, man. Girl can sing. The girl can sing. Hope you're enjoying that. Cool. Out on Friday. Better Way on all the usual platforms where you get your music. Cool. Right. And a reminder, I'm playing on the 8th of July, Chalkwell Park Rooms, Westcliff on Sea. Tickets at ticketsource.co.uk. You'll be hearing that tune there as well. Hi to Anita. Hi to Kevin. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And remember, the super exclusive, limited edition Monday Roaster albums. Only 50 of them. Actually, there are less than 50 now because I sold quite a few at my gig on Saturday. When they're gone until the regular versions come out in September when I release the album. So, what we're doing now? I know what we're doing now. It is time for another good old favourite. The Tour Life Pop Quiz. This was actually pretty funny. So, we are up for the final quiz. This is called the Tour Life Pop Quiz. I don't know if you've seen any of these. These are really stupid, right? These are really dumb. What these are, right? These are just basically scenarios, improbable, stupid scenarios. And the idea is you're supposed to completely ditch your principles and be really callous and unfeeling. That's the idea. That's kind of the idea. Hopefully it'll be funny. I wrote these last night. Hopefully it's going to work.
I'm getting stressed.
No, don't get stressed. Here we go. The Tour Life Pop Quiz. Here we go. First scenario. I've got two for you, right? So, first one. You're at an audition, right, for a BV slot with one of the biggest artists on the planet, right? Mm-hmm. So, first part of the audition is just running a few tracks with the MD. Yeah? So, you kind of got, loads of ladies, just kind of run through. So, the singers get whittled down. You're in the final too, right? Great. It's down to you, one other girl, right?
One other, okay.
You've just met her, yeah? You get on like a house on fire. Get on really, really well.
Great.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, the artist is on the way, yeah? Because they're going to make the final decision.
Oh, got ya. Okay.
But there's a lunch break. So, take a lunch break. Mm-hmm. You go off. You're both sat in the studio cafe and... As you know, it's kind of dawning on you both. Obviously, this is coming down to the wire, man. This is
kind of it, yeah.
It's you or me, man. It's kill or be killed, right?
Whew.
All starts getting a bit tense. Artist turns up a bit early, right? So you get rushed back into the studio. You rushed back in. All of a sudden, the vibe has changed with this other girl, right? Mm-mm. She forges ahead, man. She's gone into full-on impress the artist mode, hardcore, right? Mm-mm. But doesn't realise, right, as she's introduced to the artist, right, over lunch she's squirted some ketchup on her top. There's a big blotch of ketchup on the top, and there's a bit of mustard on the side of her mouth as well, right? So, do you, right? Do you take her to one side and give her the heads up? By the way, you got, or do you just grab your mic and crush the gig? Which one? Which one?
Right.
Quickly.
This is so annoying.
I know.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I would tell her.
Really?
I would tell it.
I knew you would, right? You see, you're one of the nice ones.
I know. It's so boring, isn't it? I would tell her. Probably much to my detriment, but I would tell her. Yeah. I couldn't live with myself. And I'll tell you why. Because if I did get it, I could never say to myself that I got it fairly.
But you would have got it anyway, man, because you're Izzy Chase. I told you already. It's all about Izzy Chase. Cool. Okay, great. Okay, right. Next one, right? Next one.
Yeah.
You've been working, right, on a massive US tour with one of the biggest artists on the planet, right?
Got it, yeah.
Mid-tour, the artist label insists she records a special one-off single, yeah?
Okay.
The track's been put together by the hottest production and writing team at the minute, yeah? The label are convinced it's going to be the biggest hit of the year, right? Amazing. So you and the other BVs on the tour, you're brought in to be part of the session.
Amazing.
Right? So in the studio, recording the track, artist has an absolute nightmare. She has an absolute mare, right? It's all going a bit wrong, but producer convinced her, don't worry, it's going to be fine. It's going to be great. It's going to be fine, right? A&R are there. Everyone's just trying to reassure her, but she's had a mare. Yeah? Session's over. You're back in the hotel. Phone in your room rings. Yeah? It's a conference call. Record label CEO and the producer are on the other end of the line. Yeah? They've said, look, we've got a car outside waiting to bring you back to the studio. Because you're so great, right? We want you to come back in, just replace the lead vocal, but you got to keep it undercover, right? Right? They guarantee to pay you a life-changing amount of money to do this, right? On the condition no one can know it's actually you on the tune. But remember, you're going back out on the road with this woman, right? So, as you'll still be working with her for the remainder of the tour, do you take the money and run, right? Or do you say, thanks, but no thanks, just in case people realise it's you on the tune? Which one?
Oh, 100% take the money and run.
Yes! That's what I'm talking about! That's what I'm talking about. I love it.
You're a bad man. You know that.
Man.
You're a
Oh man, I got the mojo back. Oh man. Yeah!
Okay.
What happened to nice Izzy? What happened to... I couldn't live in myself. Show me the money.
I'm a Gemini.
Cool. Izzy Chase. We are done. It's been amazing. Thank you so much for being with me today.
Pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Except for that last question.
It's been great. Thanks for your work on the record.
It's immense.
People are going to be blown away by what
people are going to really like it.
Done, man.
Yeah, you're a genius.
I am forever in your debt.
Oh, great.
You have my gratitude. So hopefully we'll do some in-person stuff. We'll be working, we'll be playing, we'll be singing, we'll be doing all sorts of wonderful bits.
Fingers crossed
and
soon.
I will see you soon. Take care, Don. See
Thank
ya.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye. I just loved it. She was like, take the money. I'm take the money. Oh, very funny. Very funny. Folks, that is the show. That was this special edition of the Monday Snack. Now, I'm not going to be able to do this every week because things have kind of got a bit fraught. Now that the world is reopening, I can't get it all together. But there will be another episode coming up. Keep your eyes peeled. But it'll be in a while for the second single, which I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy. And so remember, I have a gig on the Thursday, 8th of July, Chalkwell Park Rooms. Tickets at ticketsource.co.uk. You will hear that single, you will hear loads of stuff, and there'll be an opportunity to get your hands on one of these, right? After the gig, when the single's released at the weekend, I will be putting the remaining limited edition albums on my website for sale, so you'll be able to grab one if you get in quick, because there's only, I believe, about 35 left. Okay, wonderful. So thanks, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. What am I going to say? What am I doing now? Visit my website, andrewsmall.net, for news and bits and bobs. Better Way, coming up Friday, will be available in all the usual places. Okay, my social media handle is Andrew Small Drums. That's Facebook. That is Instagram. Yeah. And the show will be available to watch again on my YouTube channel. Also Andrew Small Drums. And if you pay a visit, just think about subscribing just to show me a little bit of love. Oh, wonderful. So, people, that is the show. Great to be back, even though it's momentary. Okay? And I will see you next time. Take care. Keep safe. Bye-bye.